A new era in Norwich City Football Club history has begun. David Wagner and Stuart Webber are out. Johannes Thorup and Ben Knapper are in. And while City's 2024-25 season got off to a respectable start, drawing 2-2 at Kenilworth Road, the nature of Luton's last-minute equaliser has to be a cause for concern going forward. When he took the job, Thorup knew that one of his first orders of priority would be providing some real depth and quality along the back line. And though he began to do that with the additions of Marius Wolf and Harry Toffolo at fullback, centre-back remains an issue. But although two set pieces were the difference between 1 point and 3 in the opening game of the season, Thorup is determined to stick to his principles. That's why he's opened the checkbook once more, this time for Aston Villa's Callum Chambers. The former Arsenal man arrives for a fee of just 2.5 million after featuring in only 30 Premier League games over the last 3 seasons. Chambers is excellent with the ball at his feet and should provide a foundation for the side to control possession and build from the back. Another glaring issue from the Luton game was the lack of a true number 10 in the side. Ashley Barnes looked completely out of place behind Sargent, and ideally Nunez wants to play more of a box-to-box role. So with a fresh slate of games rapidly approaching, Thorup has been working hard to get another deal over the line, this time for the young Austrian Tierno Abalo from Wolfsberger. 21-year-old is a shifty, dynamic young talent with a lot of potential, but he'll need to refine the technical side of his game heavily if he's going to make it at the highest level. We were able to trigger Abalo's release clause of 4.5 million, so with those transfers taken into consideration, we now have a total balance of about 8 million left to work with for the remainder of the season. And those new signings are going to have plenty of opportunities to find their feet in the side with a very busy month of August coming up. Going to kick things off in today's episode with a featured game, our home opener against Queen's Park Rangers. I'll show you highlights of our Carabao Cup fixture against Exeter and our trip to the Stadium of Light to take on Sunderland. And we'll be simulating games against Oxford, Millwall and Plymouth before we round things out with the closure of the summer transfer window. So our first visitors to Carrow Road this season will be QPR. They'll be playing a rough and ready 4-2-3-1 formation with a number of experienced characters. Asmir Begovic starts in goal. Former Norwich man Isaac Hayden starts in midfield, whilst Lyndon Dykes will lead the line. As for Johannes Thorup, he's decided to opt for 3 at the back this time out in order to deal with the direct attacking style of QPR. So new signing Callum Chambers comes straight into the lineup, forming a back 3 with Grant Hanley and Shane Duffy. Marius Wolf and Harry Toffolo will play slightly further forward today in wing-back roles. Marcelino Nunez and Kenny McLean will be the pairing in midfield, whilst Borja Sainz and Johnny Rowe will again support Josh Sargent up front. So without further ado, let's head over to Carrow Road and see if we can put 3 points on the board for the first time this season. So we are up in the commentary box at Carrow Road for the first time this season. Carrow Road, where new manager Johannes Thorup has received a warm welcome. The Norwich City fans have been struggling to really identify what their team's been about in the last few seasons. It's not like the football has been terrible at all times at Carrow Road. Certainly under David Wagner, the side has played some fairly exciting football. But really since Daniel Farke left, there's been no true identity for the fans to really hang their hat on. No real identifiable purpose when players step out onto the field. No consistent approach to games. That is the main thing that Johannes Thorup has to establish in his first season here at the side. Callum Chambers, hopefully a new addition to the side that will help him to do that. Grant Hanley, Shane Duffy, other former Norwich City defenders of recent times, not being the best with the ball at their feet. Solid enough defensively, decent enough in the air. But they don't want the ball. Callum Chambers does. He's a player that can play the ball across the back line, who can step up into midfield even from time to time. And Johannes Thorup really hoping that he'll be able to establish that possession-based, controlled identity that we're looking to establish here at Carrow Road. Marcelino Nunez with an early opportunity to send the fans into raptures. And it's a good save. Good save by Asmir Begovic. Decent enough effort by Marcelino Nunez. Maybe didn't quite have the pace on the strike that would have been necessary to beat Begovic from there, but Nunez will put it in the corner. Callum Chambers in the box, making a nuisance of himself already. That is something we won't really expect of Chambers, is to be an aerial threat. We are pretty much accepting the fact that we're not going to be a threat in the air this season or really going forward. We saw that in the Luton Town game. We were beaten by 2 set pieces. Budimir managing to find the back of the net with each of them. However, you have to have strengths and weaknesses. You can't be good at everything. Our strength is going to be playing with the ball at our feet, getting it down and playing football. That means we have to be slightly weaker at set pieces and in the air, then so be it. Josh Sargent, he should be a threat in the air, but we're not going to have very much beyond him. QPR looking to get their first real attack of the game started. We've had a pretty bright and controlled start to the game. That's what this 3 at the back was intended to establish. As Marius Wolf breaks away down the right-hand side. Borja Sainz can't find any space to receive the pass. We will, I imagine, see an appearance from the other new man, Ballo, at some point today, as Johnny Rowe puts the ball across the 6-yard box. Borja Sainz stealing in at the back post, but cleared away by QPR. Ballo not so much suited to this particular formation as he is the 4-2-3-1 that we opened the season with against Luton Town. He is really that true number 10 that we've been looking for. So he will settle in behind Josh Sargent very nicely. But when we do just play with the 2 in midfield, we need 2 more industrious, box-to-box style of players like Kenny McLean and Marcelino Nunez. However, we'll see how the game progresses. We may well see an appearance from Ballo later on. Turn towards goal, I think, by Josh Sargent. Oh, and that is an awful bit of distribution from Asmir Begovic. Throws it right to Shane Duffy. And if that had been Josh Sargent or another attacking player, as the QPR fans have packed out the away end, if that was a player with a goal on their mind, unlike Shane Duffy, potentially they would have taken a shot on there. Borja Sainz just finds Wolf. Gets the shot away, but blocked easily by QPR. Kenny McLean on his less favoured right foot, so just retains possession through Callum Chambers. And Marcelino Nunez. Lots of space on the left-hand side for Harry Toffolo, and Nunez finds him. Toffolo beats his man into the box where Josh Sargent lies in wait. Johnny Rowe brings it down on the edge of the box. Good challenge again from the QPR defenders. Excellent play by Kenny McLean, however, allows Johnny Rowe to get the shot away, and again blocked by QPR. Very bright start to the game, however. We are looking the better side by far in these early exchanges. And Marius Wolf even almost steals the ball away again there. Borja Sainz back covering, but it will be a QPR throw. Oh, and Borja Sainz again almost stole the ball away there. Marcelino Nunez beaten. Grant Hanley the same, but doing just enough to hold the QPR man up. Borja Sainz can't quite squeeze past the challenge of the QPR man. Decent enough play by QPR down this left-hand side. Sloppy pass. Gives up possession, however. But it is a good challenge for Marcelino Nunez to win it back. It's got a little bit scrappy in the last 5 minutes or so. Let's try and re-establish control over this game. Home fans making a lot of noise. They like to see the pressure that their side has built up so far today tell. But there is still plenty of football left to play. But you can very much tell the Norwich fans want a goal. Has got very sloppy the last 5 or 10 minutes though. Can't string two passes together now. Shane Duffy comes across to deal with this QPR attack. Shane Duffy beaten, but Toffolo there to support his teammate as well. Johnny Rowe also back in a defensive position. And Duffy does win the ball back. Really solid defensive work. And we're just going to have to loft that into the channel for Toffolo to chase. Johnny Rowe up in support. Toffolo can't quite find him. The pass just a half step too far up the field for Johnny Rowe to get on the end of. Grant Hanley, Callum Chambers, Toffolo again in space. Chambers overcooks it slightly. Our wingbacks very much hugging those touchlines. And Toffolo has found himself in a lot of space on a couple of occasions already today. Again he beats his man, again he crosses, this time in search of Borja Sainz in the back post. Again cleared away by QPR. They're doing well defensively, QPR, to deal with these attacks, and particularly these crosses into the box. But you would think at some point in the not too distant future we will make this pressure tell. Callum Chambers, Shane Duffy, Harry Toffolo again in space, but we took too long to deliver the ball to him. And we did see Callum Chambers stepping up into midfield there. The pass again was a misplaced one. But that is what we want Callum Chambers to do, particularly in these three at the back formations. When we just have the two central midfielders, they could use a bit of help from one of those centre-backs. Callum Chambers absolutely the best equipped to provide that help. And again, he's going to try and spread the ball wide, this time to Marius Wolf. Pass this time on target. Grant Hanley bursting forward from his centre-back position. I'm not sure how often we want him to be making those kinds of runs. Josh Sargent finds Borja Sainz, but what a good challenge. What a good challenge again by QPR. And with that kick and rush tactical vision, they could be away on a quick counter-attack here. They've committed far fewer players to attack than we have to defence, however. We do manage to slow them down. Well worked by QPR, though. Into a shooting position, but we do get the last-minute tackle in. QPR, however, find the ball at their feet once more. And it is Lyndon Dykes. That's Lyndon Dykes. Okay, fair enough. Lyndon Dykes opens the scoring for QPR. Angus Gunn comes out, makes himself big. Can't make the save. And despite dominating this first half, really, we have found ourselves behind here at Carrow Road.
Goal for Queen's Park Rangers.
We have 6 or 7 minutes to get back into the game before half-time. Or to get ourselves level again before half-time anyway. We are very much still in the game. And we certainly don't deserve to go into the half-time break behind. So let's step up into our attacking game plan and try and grab a goal in these last 5 minutes or so. Johnny Rowe Good feet. Beats his man. Pulls it back to Borja Sainz, who gets his shot away, but again it's blocked. I'm not sure the goalkeeper would have made the save there, but his defender helped him out. He didn't need to. And again, QPR looking to double their lead before the half-time break. Borja Sainz puts an end to that immediately, though. Maybe we can have a quick counter-attack of our own. Borja Sainz beats one. He needs support. Toffolo is providing support on that left-hand side, but it was taken away by good positioning of the QPR defenders. Marcelino Nunez. Borja Sainz once more. He's woken up in the last 5 minutes or so. Gets a shot away. It's a poor one. There was a better option on than that. There was a better option on than that for Borja Sainz. As we see the goal again. Decent enough finish from Dykes, but poor defending allowed him the opportunity in the first place. Oh, and Josh Sargent causing some issues for that QPR back line. Still pressing high, Josh Sargent. Johnny Rowe arriving to do the same. Good challenge. Kenny McLean has to wait for the support of Toffolo outside him, but he has found him. Josh Sargent needs to get in the box. He's our one aerial threat, really. Toffolo just plays it off the QPR man, and it is going to be a corner right at the very end of the first half as we see Thorup talking to Thiago Ballo. Maybe he can come on in the second half and make a difference. Nunez with the corner. Wolf at the near post, can't win the header. And the half-time whistle does go. And we do find ourselves 1-0 down against the run of play. And to the underdogs at Carrow Road. Not the most convincing first half in the final third, but I feel like we've played a decent half of football there. And again, I think we can feel a little aggrieved to be 1-0 down at half-time. Thank you for checking out this episode of our realistic Norwich City career mode. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're approaching the end of the FC24 cycle now, but there'll be plenty more content to come with the release of FC25, including 12th man memberships. If you want to get more involved with the channel, check out the membership tiers on my homepage. Memberships start at less than £2 per month and come with a whole host of benefits and rewards, including you being able to feature in my career mode saves. We'll be starting a road to glory with a created club as soon as FC25 drops. So if you want to be included in the save or even feature in our starting 11, become a 12th man member of the channel today. 12th man members also get exclusive early access to all of my videos, not only my career mode series, but also my realistic slider sets and everything else in between. If you want more information about exactly what each tier involves, be sure to check out this video on my homepage. If memberships aren't for you, you can also join the public area of my Discord server, or just keep watching and enjoying the content for free right here on YouTube. As always, I appreciate all of your encouragement and support. Now, let's get back to the video. So, back out for the second half, where we'll be looking to grab an equaliser sooner rather than later. So, Marius Wolf immediately drives towards the QPR back line. Runs it out of play, however. Had to hug tight to that touchline. And couldn't quite keep the ball in play. We will stick in our attacking game plan as we come out for the second half. Don't want to go up into our ultra attacking game plan unless it is a last resort. Unless we are into the final 10-15 minutes of the game and we are still behind. We're going to have to be careful here. Good challenge. Lucky deflection. Gives QPR the rebound. Good save by Angus Gunn on this occasion, though, and Kenny McLean will lay it into the path of Johnny Rowe on this left-hand side. Josh Sargent makes the worst run I have ever seen. I just tried to flick the ball out with Johnny Rowe, but instead it registered it as a manual run. Saw the green arrows appearing there on the screen. And a sloppy pass gifts QPR possession via a throw. And we really do need to re-establish the same dominance in the second half that we had in the first if we are to come away with a result here. Johnny Rowe again with an opportunity to break away down this left-hand side. That's got to be a foul, ref, and it is. Probably should be a yellow card because Johnny Rowe was away there. Bit of a cynical one from the QPR man. As Grant Hanley finds Callum Chambers, who knocks it on to Marius Wolf. Not too much on ahead of him. Just the black and red shirts of QPR defenders. They are defending extremely deep. All 11 men behind the ball. All 11 men, not only in their half, but really almost in their defensive third. As the ball is going to fall to Johnny Rowe. Finds Marcelino Nunez, blocked by QPR. And into the grateful arms of Asmir Begovic. Need to get players in the box for this second period. Don't have too many bodies to aim for in terms of aerial threats, but if we can just get bodies around the ball, at least when QPR win the initial header, perhaps we can get to the second ball and get a shot away on the rebound. Good challenge, Shane Duffy. Johnny Rowe wants it into feet. Marcelino Nunez the same. Borja Sainz making a run ahead. Marius Wolf making the run outside. Wolf just has to turn back. Relay the ball again to Marcelino Nunez. He finds Harry Toffolo on the left. Can he whip the ball into the box? Yes, he can. Only finds Begovic, though. Sainz again arriving at the back post. And 60 minutes into this game, we are still a goal behind here at Carrow Road. Might be time to make a change in this game, potentially. Good challenge. And that is a foul. That's going to give us an opportunity to make a substitution or two here. As we can see, the new man, Tieno Ballo, warming up on the sideline. So it is going to be Tieno Ballo to come on to make his debut in front of the home fans for Norwich City. He replaces Kenny McLean. Jack Stacey comes on to provide a fresh pair of legs down that right-hand side in place of Marius Wolf. We have also moved our wide players a little wider. We have them fairly narrow by default, kind of in and around Josh Sargent. We have moved Borja Sainz and Johnny Rowe to more traditional wing positions, however. Ballo immediately wins the ball back, drives towards the QPR back line. Jack Stacey just is not making that overlapping run. Ballo just holding on to the ball, waiting for the support from Stacey, and it just does not come. That was the obvious run to make there. Great challenge again from Duffy. Can't prevent the ball from going out for a QPR corner, though. As QPR will make a change themselves before they take the corner. Looks like it's going to be short, and it is. Ballo and Nunez both out there to try and win the ball back. Neither can do so. QPR into the box, blocked by Ballo. And Sargent will come away on this right-hand side with the chance to drive at QPR. Ballo with a decent, if somewhat lethargic run through the middle. And it's a sloppy pass from Josh Sargent. It was a high level of difficulty, to be fair. One thing about Ballo is he doesn't, I think he has medium work rates. So we saw him not exactly busting the gut to get into position to score there. He does win the ball back again, though. He's been as good defensively as he has going forward so far, Ballo, or better defensively, really. As Grant Hanley comes across to try and win the ball back again, cannot do so. Jack Stacey forces it wide. Well worked by QPR on the edge of the box, though. Really well worked from QPR as they do manage to generate a goal-scoring opportunity. Well blocked, however. We take far too long to get up in support. Far too long. Duffy finds Toffolo, who in turn finds Johnny Rowe. Big switch of play is going to have to try and recycle this attack into the feet of Borja Sainz, who can't beat his man, but it does go out for a Norwich City throw. As Queen's Park Rangers make another change, here's Ballo. Really poor pass. Really poor pass. Ballo has been pretty terrible so far in this game. He's given the ball away all 3 times he's touched it, really. He has won the ball back on 2 occasions. That's late. That is late. Very, very late. It's going to be at least a yellow for Isaac Hayden. And it is just a yellow. Potentially fortunate there that it is just a yellow. But the Norwich fans did not take kindly to that one from the former Canary. And I think we're going to have to step up into our ultra-attacking game plan, because there are 15 minutes remaining. And we do not look like getting back into this game. Good challenge, Grant Hanley. Looked as though QPR were going to be able to get a shot away there. Good challenge, Borja Sainz. We need players up in support. There's Josh Sargent. Just about manages to poke the ball ahead of the QPR man with his right foot. Jack Stacey, can he whip the ball in? Yes, he can. Johnny Rowe at the back post. Can't win the header. And it's cleared away again by QPR. And we are stepping up into our attacking game, our ultra-attacking game plan, rather, for these last 10 minutes or so. Because we are still desperately searching for an equaliser. There's Ballo. Just finds Nunez. Nunez once more. Again, we have players over. QPR defenders well positioned at the moment, though. Borja Sainz with a run in behind. Blocked by the QPR man and out for a corner, but I think the referee's going to give a free kick instead for handball. But with 10 minutes to go, we have an opportunity to make another change or 2. So it's going to be 2 more changes for Johannes Thorup and Norwich City. Borja Sainz and Johnny Rowe each coming off to be replaced by Christian Fasnacht and Adam Eder. Adam Eder, another potential aerial target for us in these kinds of situations. Instead, the free kick goes towards Jack Stacey. Well won by Piano Ballo. He's going to loft the ball into the box. That's got to be another hand, ref. Back post. I think it was Christian Fasnacht at the back post. Ballo managed to find him. The header, though, goes wide. Asmir Begovic had no chance. But the game is still 1-0 QPR. That's a heavy touch. Fortunately, Adamida not positioned closely enough to the QPR man to steal it away. Good intervention. Shane Duffy. It wasn't Fasnacht with the header. I'm not sure who it was who turned that header towards goal. Fasnacht. Can he find Stacey? Yes, he can. Nodded down towards Josh Sargent, who just holds the ball up on the edge of the box. Can't quite get his body between the ball and the QPR defender. Good challenge, Marcelino Nunez. Jack Stacey with a run in behind. Does manage to bring the ball under control. And he does manage to find space for a cross. Adamida turns it towards goal. Parried away by Asmir Begovic. And the Norwich City fans in full voice, trying to will their team to victory here. About 5 minutes remaining. Poor corner. Didn't beat the first man. Ballo does reach the ball, however. Nunez, where are you going? Nunez just needed to hold his position there. And instead he's just meandering towards Ballo. So poor. Hanley does well to reach it. Toffolo. It was Toffolo with the header that went wide shortly earlier. Jack Stacey, bound well by Toffolo. Twisting and turning, trying to find space again for a cross. The QPR man has basically just headbutted Jack Stacey there, and it's QPR who get the free kick. Absolutely shunted him out of the way. That's an outrageous decision. Do win the header, however. Josh Sargent. Really poor pass. So poor. So poor. That was like 15 yards away from where I was pointing. Barlow. Sargent makes the run up ahead of him. Barlow drives towards the QPR box. Can't quite get the shot away. Maybe should have taken it on earlier. Space did open up. He just wanted to take an extra touch or two, and the final whistle goes. And it's going to be a QPR victory in our home opener at Carrow Road. Somehow, no idea how we didn't get a goal in that game. QPR, I think I can count on one hand the amount of opportunities QPR had. I can count on one finger the amount of opportunities that Lyndon Dykes had. And he put the ball in the back of the net. And that was the difference in the game. Let's take a look at the match facts. Four shots. I mean, we only had 10, to be fair. Possession did even out slightly towards the end of the game, but this season has not got off to the start that we were hoping. Luton Town aside, to look at the calendar before the season, you would have thought we had a relatively easy start and we could have established ourselves as at least a playoff team fairly early, but we failed to win at Luton Town, taking just a point. We fail even to do that against QPR. Potentially, the new system, the new players will need some time to bed in, but we're going to have to see some improvement sooner rather than later if we are going to be a playoff team or even a team that's chasing automatic promotion this season. And after the game, we received a transfer bid for a player I was really hoping we wouldn't receive one for. Celtic have come in with an offer of £2 million plus Stephen Welsh for Angus Gunn. Gunn is a fan favourite at Norwich City, and Buzzco's realistic selling calculator has determined that we can reject this offer. However, Angus Gunn is, of course, Scottish. Celtic, of course, are in the Champions League thanks to winning the Scottish Premier League last season. And Celtic are still on the lookout for a new permanent goalkeeper to replace Joe Hart. So although it pains me to do so, I think we're going to have to negotiate with Celtic as the offer just seems too realistic to turn down. So if we can get $5 million for Angus Gunn, we will allow him to leave. If Celtic don't want to match that valuation, then we will keep hold of him. Unfortunately, though, they do. Angus Gunn looks like he's going to be on his way out of Carrow Road, which means we need to start scouting some goalkeepers that could replace Gunn. And speaking of scouting, we do have our first youth scout report back, and it looks like Jackson Norton is going to be the first player that we attempt to sign to the Youth Academy. I say attempt to sign because we can't automatically sign Youth Academy prospects. They do, of course, have their choice of clubs to go to. So we have just a 10% chance to sign Jackson Norton. And of course, with such a low percentage, we do fail. So we're going to have to release him. That does bring us to our second game of the episode and our first cup game of the series, featuring a heavily rotated 11 for our trip to Exeter. Jose Cordoba and Jonathan Tompkinson coming into the back line. Tiano Ballo getting his first start for Norwich City. Liam Gibbs just behind him. And Adam Eder starts up front. Exeter gave a very good account of themselves and caused us some real issues in the first half. And that continued into the second too. Jacob Sorensen giving the ball away and George Long being called upon to make a really good save. And in a very tight, cagey affair, it took until the 70th minute for the deadlock to be broken, and it was Exeter who broke that deadlock. And despite having the edge over Exeter for the majority of the game, we just couldn't get back level. Ashley Barnes coming on and striking from range, but the Exeter goalkeeper equal to it. He did so on a number of occasions, and if we do end up needing to replace Angus Gunn, we could do a lot worse than whoever it was that Exeter had between the sticks today. So despite being the much better side, we do crash out of the Carabao Cup in the first round. So the Johannes Thorup era at Norwich City is off to an inauspicious start. A draw away from home, followed by 2 losses in his opening 3 games as Norwich City boss. And you can't blame Angus Gunn. Based on the 3 performances we've put in so far for seeking greener pastures, he does end up heading back up to Scotland to Celtic to play Champions League football. And so Johannes Thorup wasn't exactly planning on doing so this summer, but he has managed to secure Angus Gunn's replacement. Jason Steele arrives from Brighton and Hove Albion for just 2 million. He is 32 years old, so he's not going to be a long-term solution between the sticks, but he is a more than capable championship level goalkeeper who will be able to fill the role for this season at the very least, and then potentially move into a backup role next season. So with Gunn's departure and Steele's arrival processed, that leaves us with about 9 million left to spend this season. So Jason Steele does of course come straight into the lineup for our next match against Oxford United in the Championship. Callum Chambers partners Grant Hanley at the back, and Ashley Barnes starts in the number 10 behind Josh Sargent for this one. We do finally manage to put 3 points on the board this season, and it's all thanks to Marcelino Nunez. He opened the score in just 5 minutes into the game, got his second on the 70th minute, and despite a goal for Oxford 3 minutes later, we did manage to hang on. We are already struggling for fitness, but we could really do with grinding out another similar result as we take on Millwall at Carrow Road. Shane Duffy and Jose Cordoba come into the back line for this one. And it is back-to-back victories in the Championship. Josh Sargent opened the scoring in the 36th minute before Adam Eder secured victory 6 minutes from time. So we have a really good chance to turn our faltering start to the season around and make it 3 victories in the last 3 as we travel to the Stadium of Light to take on Sunderland. Players are now starting to build fitness, but Johnny Rowe is not fit enough to start, so Fasnacht comes in on the right-hand side. Borja Sainz switches over to the left. But even he is struggling for fitness. This was another tight, cagey affair, and we just couldn't find our cutting edge in the final third. Thankfully, neither could Sunderland. But we did, however, have a goal just before half-time. Barlow, it was driving forward, creating some space for Josh Sargent to run into. He took it down on his chest and then hit across the goalkeeper with his right foot to make it 1-0. Things got a little easier for us just after the break, as well as Jack Clark put in a pretty reckless, dangerous, very, very late challenge on Borja Sainz, and he saw red. And with the man advantage, of course, we grew into the game. Barlow again causing issues for Sunderland, this time moving out onto the left flank in place of Borja Sainz, cutting in onto his right foot and almost curling an effort into the far corner. Josh Sargent continued to impress as well, and he almost had a second goal in the game, but again the Sunderland goalkeeper Bishop was equal to it, this time at his near post. And as the game faded into its final moments, Sunderland did press for the equaliser, but Jason Steele, replacement for Angus Gunn, is already proving to be a valuable addition to the side. This was a fantastic save diving away to his right hand side to keep the scoreline 1-0. And that is how the game would finish. So it hasn't been the best start to the season. We haven't exactly been playing the swashbuckling, stylish brand of football that Johannes Thorup would have hoped to have established in Norwich. But we are beginning to put some results on the board. And we have one final opportunity to do so here in today's episode as we host Plymouth in the Championship. Just a couple of changes to the starting 11 for this one, as Liam Gibbs comes into the starting 11 in place of Tiano Barlow. Johnny Rowe slots back in on the left-hand side. Borja Sainz moves back over to his more familiar right. We couldn't quite make it 4 wins in 4, but we do at least come away with a point from the Plymouth game. Hardy opened the scoring in the first half. We didn't get on the score sheet until the hour mark. Josh Sargent again finding the back of the net. Kenny McLean put us ahead just 10 minutes from time, but Hardy grabbed a second 5 minutes from time to give Plymouth Argyle a share of the points. So at the end of an up and down opening month of the season, we find ourselves in 7th position in the Championship, which is not too bad at all considering the way that we started. 3 teams remain unbeaten. Top of the table, Leeds United. 2nd place, Middlesbrough. And 4th place, Luton Town. Whereas Cardiff City, Blackburn Rovers and Sunderland find themselves in the relegation zone, each having taken only a point from their opening 6 games. In the Premier League, Manchester City and Arsenal are again vying for top of the table, whilst Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, and surprisingly Newcastle find themselves in the relegation zone. Newcastle having failed to take a point in 3 attempts to begin their season. We'll have another 5 games to get to in the next episode. Each in the Championship, we will be away to Portsmouth, Watford, and Sheffield United, whilst we'll be hosting Stoke and Derby County at Carrow Road. We do, of course, have the closure of the summer transfer window to get to as well, which we will be saving for the beginning of the next episode. So not a terrible start to the season by any means, but improvements can certainly be made, and hopefully we can kick on and find some real consistent form in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.